So I guess you guys want your face to look like this. Well, you've come to the right place, because that's what we do here. We make people's faces look like things.
Matt dropped down onto the couch, barely acknowledging the low hum of the TV in the background. Work had drained him, and now, scrolling through his phone, he let his meringue drift, the glow of the screen casting a dull light over the dimly lit room. His phone vibrated. A message from Chris. "Do me a favor?" Matt sighed, rubbing his temple. Chris had sent messages like this before. Short, vague, always tinged with something he could only describe as paranoia. Most of the time, Matt ignored him, knowing Chris would either forget about it or spiral into something even stranger. He hesitated, thumb hovering over the keyboard. Another message came through before he could respond. "I need you to grab something for me. Locker 132, the old bus station. You know the combo." Then there was a pause, and a final message appeared. "Promise?" Matt exhaled through his nose, staring at the words on the screen. He considered typing out a quick, "Yeah, sure," just to get Chris off his back. But his fingers didn't move. Chris had been known to skip his meds, and when he did, the text got weird. He'd ramble about the people watching him. Crazy things like that. Matt's eyes drifted to the cluttered coffee table, where a small metal toy car sat amongst the junk. Something from their childhood. A relic of simpler times. He knew it all well. He knew its weight. He knew how it felt to run the wheels over his palms. His phone buzzed again. Another message? No. Just an email. He shook his head and passed out on the chair. Chris would be fine. He always was. Matt didn't realize this would be the last time Chris ever messaged him. The next day, Chris was dead. The official story was he ended his life. Matt was listed as Chris's emergency contact. When the call came, it didn't feel real. He had to go identify his friend. A friend that was more like a brother. He stood in that cold, sterile room and confirmed that yes, the body lying motionless before him was Chris. But it didn't look like him. Not really. There was something hollow about it. Something wrong. He tried to convince himself that it was over, that Chris had been struggling for years, and maybe this was inevitable. But the guilt crept in. Did Chris really need his help? Was there something deeper going on? Had he ignored the wrong message this time? On the train ride home, he sat staring out the window. The city, a blur of apartment lights and passing headlights. Across from him, two brothers played together, laughing, shoving each other the way kids do. Something about it struck him, memories crawling their way to the surface. Chris had been there when Matt was orphaned. They weren't related by blood, but they were brothers. He looked down at his phone, rereading Chris's last messages. Promise. Matt didn't believe in Chris's paranoia, but he had made a promise. That's why he found himself standing in front of the old bus station. The air thick with the smell of exhaust and damp concrete. He went inside, weaving through the rows of battered lockers until he found 132. He hesitated before twisting in the combination. 07, 21, 24. The day Chris turned 18. The door creaked open. Inside, there was no hidden treasure. No secret Chris had been desperate to share. Just a well-worn notebook. Matt flipped through the pages. Dates, locations, cryptic descriptions of people. Heavy man with a hat, strange woman at the bus stop, bag with beard and glasses. It just went on and on. These must be the people Chris believed were watching him. Matt let out a slow breath. Just another symptom of Chris's spiraling paranoia. That's all this was. Still, he closed a notebook and tucked it under his arm. At a minimum, it was the last thing Chris had left behind. The next day, Matt went to work. He still felt numb from Chris's passing. It was Friday. He could have taken the day off, but instead he went in, hoping that burying himself in routine would help. A weekend was right there. He just had to get through one day. On his commute, he started noticing things. The same people Chris had written about. The heavy man with the hat at the coffee shop. The strange woman at the bus stop staring at nothing. The guy with the beard and sunglasses standing near his apartment. Coincidence? It had to be. The city's full of people. Chris had seen them around his own neighborhood. It was all just random. Still, something nagged at Matt. A pressure in his chest that he couldn't quite shake. At work, he sat at his desk, staring at the screen, but not really seeing anything. His head throbbed, and his body felt heavy. His office felt wrong. The wall seemed too far away. The space stretched, warped. It felt like a maze, even though it didn't look like one. He stood up, but there was no exit. He couldn't breathe. Then, darkness. Was it a dream? A nightmare. When Matt woke up, he was on the floor, his co-worker standing over him, concern etched on their faces. Someone asked if he needed a doctor. He shook his head, pushing himself upright. His heart still hammered in his chest. He turned toward the window, needing fresh air, something to grab himself. That's when he saw him, the guy with the beard and sunglasses. He was just standing across the street, watching. Matt swallowed, suddenly feeling ice cold. Was that the same guy he saw outside his building this morning? He couldn't be sure. The man lifted his head slightly. Their eyes met. Matt's pulse pounded in his ears. He blinked, and the man was gone. Matt took a cab home. He didn't know if he was seeing things or not, but he didn't want to be followed. And even if he wasn't, he didn't want to fall asleep on the train. When he got home, he decided to read through the notebook. At first, it was just days, times, and descriptions of people. A few pages in, Chris started including locations. And a few pages after that, other notes started appearing. Then he saw it. A disturbing note. They're getting bolder. They're in my building now. Chris had written that. He wasn't just seeing them. He knew they were getting closer. One of the women had even gotten into a crowded elevator with him. But new text? It's from Chris's phone number. Where are you? Matt stared at the screen. How was Chris's phone texting him? Chris was dead. Matt had identified his body. Someone had taken Chris's phone, and that someone knew Matt had taken something from the lockers because they could see the messages. Terrified, Matt turned off his apartment lights and typed out a reply. Who is this? He had sinned, then peered cautiously out his window. Outside, the woman from the bus stop was standing with the man in the hat. Gasped as he watched the woman pull out a phone. Matt's stomach twisted. She had Chris's phone. His pulse pounded as his mind screamed that this wasn't a coincidence. They were together, watching and waiting. His breath caught in his throat as the man in the hat began walking toward the building. Matt's apartment building required a key to get inside. How did he have a key? Panic surged through him as he grabbed his phone and dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? The voice said on the phone, "I'm at 1192 144th Street. Is a man. He's getting into my building. He's not supposed to be here." The dispatcher's voice remained calm. "Is the man in your house or apartment?" "No, but he's not supposed to have a key." "Sir, are you saying someone is loitering in your building's hallways?" Matt hesitated. The rational part of him knew how crazy this sounded. He swallowed hard, then blurted, "Yes, please send someone. He's coming for me." "We'll have some units pass by your address and ask any loiterers to move along," the dispatcher said. "Lock your door and stay inside. Call back if anything happens." Matt's hand trembled as he hung up. Then he heard the sound of heavy footsteps in the hallway. He froze. It couldn't be the man. Then he heard the worst sound of all, a key turning in his lock. The door swung open. A physically intimidating man stepped inside, his presence filling the space with an icy dread. He was silent for a moment before speaking, his voice calm and calculated. "I need the book." Matt's breath caught in his throat. He backed away, his shaking hand reaching for his phone to dial 911. The man saw this. He couldn't let Matt make the call. All at once, he lunged forward. Too fast, too careless. His heel pressed down on something small. Chris's old toy car. The tiny metal trinket shot forward, spinning across the floor. The attacker lost his balance, his foot slipping beneath him, his body twisted, crashing backwards, head first, into a half-empty wine bottle on the floor. The sound of glass breaking was sharp and final. Blood pooled beneath his head. And then, silence. The man was dead. Matt gasped, his chest rising and falling rapidly. His fingers fumbled as he dialed 911. The moment the operator answered, he started explaining, his words tumbling over themselves, frantic, disbelieving. While talking, he heard a sound. A text message, but it wasn't his phone. Matt turned slowly, his pulse hammering in his ears. The dead man's phone lay beside him. The screen was still illuminated. A message from an unknown number. "Did you get it?" Matt swallowed hard. Chris wasn't crazy. And this isn't over.
Well, that's it for today, Horror Fam. Please take good care of yourselves. If you're brand new to the channel, you're welcome to click off now. But if you've been a subscriber for a while and been wondering where Papa Bones been, hang around for a minute. 2025 has been a crazy year for Papa Bones. I am very lucky that the craziness has happened mostly outside of my house. So everyone at the cabin, my immediate family, is doing well. But in February and March, there were 3 deaths in my extended family. An uncle in New York, an aunt in New Mexico, and my grandmother in Idaho. These kept me really busy. When my uncle passed away, I was given his treadmill. It's a small one, capped at 4 miles per hour, which meant to challenge myself, I'd have to stack duration. 2 weeks ago, I ran 8 miles outside, all at once for the first time. It was about 2 hours of running, and it was difficult. There's something that happens when you run for long periods of time. There's this chemical that literally bathes your brain, called BDNF. It does the most incredible things. It gives you clear thoughts. There's actual evidence that it helps a lot with fighting addictions. It's truly a miracle chemical. Anyway, during my 8-mile run, maybe around mile 5, I started thinking very clearly and realized the same way that the year 2025 has been difficult for me, it could have been really hard for all of you too. The point of this channel was to give people a distraction, a place where they could get some breathing room, and they could remember that they were humans. It's nice to sit down and be told a story. Me, Sammy, and Roger, we're a part of that. These things just don't happen without us putting the effort in. And it is important. I started thinking about how if other people were going through the same thing, for all I know, what if everybody lost 3 people in February and March? What if that's what happened? And there was nothing there to help distract them? I am sorry that I was gone for so long. I felt this guilt feeling in the middle of my run. It's okay. I don't feel guilty now, but there was this pressure. I knew that I had to start animating again. And I did. And here we are, 2 weeks later. This video's out. Sammy's working on a couple of different things right now. A new painting video, something else that's pretty fun. It's very important to me that you guys don't confuse me being overwhelmed with you not being important, because that's not the case at all. Over this time, I had a few people on Patreon actually reach out to me. I did post updates on Patreon. And of course, Sammy and I were very happy for all of the kind words. It was difficult. Being overwhelmed is strange. I very sincerely hope that none of you were suffering similarly while I was. I'd rather you didn't suffer, but if you had to suffer, it'd probably be better to suffer while I'm telling you horror stories. I know we have to finish Frankenstein, and we're gonna have a great time just like before. It was just really hard for a little bit. Thank you all so much for your patience. And as usual, you know what I'm gonna tell you. Until next time, which will not be months. But until the next time I see you, please take good care of yourself. Take good care of your loved ones, your children, your significant others, your families. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of each other.